What's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Just trying to get things rearranged around here. Hey, if you're new to the page, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. Getting things back. We're going to talk about future predictions of the overall stock market. That also means that your stock is included. It is the last trading day of the year. Okay, it is the last trading day of the year. The S&P is just at the time of recording this is just 10 points away from hitting an all-time high. And the question remains, will the Santa Claus rally continue to run? Will the bull, Santa Claus riding a bull, continue to run? And we're going to get to that in a minute. And then guess who spoke this morning? Mr. Tom Lee, Mr. Permabull that's been forever. He's been right, all right? Though the gentleman that is interviewing him seems a bit jealous and kind of a little jealous, but let's get right into it, okay? First, look, listen, for those of you that don't know, Stock Up You, if you want 2023 pricing, you must use this coupon code STOCKUP2023, okay? Before you check out, you'll see a box that says coupon code. Make sure that you put that in the coupon code. This is Stock Up You, Stock Up University, where we teach you how to trade. We show you from a beginner's standpoint, we teach you about the overall market. Charting with Josh, which we will be adding a new lesson to this, all right? So in January 1st, you'll have a new lesson here, options, and we're going to have a brand new entire chapter on crypto. You will understand crypto better than you ever have, and hopefully if you listen, you will make some money. Mr. Tom Lee has done it again. He has gave a 2024 prediction, okay? So why don't we play that right now and we will discuss.
And I think it's a huge relief for equity markets when that happens.
Tom, Happy New Year. First off, congratulations on your calls this year. You've been directionally correct. That's hard to do, so kudos to you. You're top dog now, 5,200. You have the high estimate for the S&P 500 for 2024. Jonathan Stoltzfus, we just had him on. He also had 5,200. You're top one. I wonder if you can explain what goes into making that up. It's always a little bit of a mystery to us what you macro guys do. You know, an analyst who covers Caterpillar, he studies Caterpillar, earnings estimates and makes a projection, but you have to do this estimate from the top down. So what goes into this? Do you guys get together on a retreat on the weekends and, drink a lot and figure out what's going to, come up with a number? How do you come up with this 5,200?
Yeah, it's really sort of three parts. The first part is, what is probable based on sort of market history, like where we are in the business cycle, what did the markets do the year before, where's positioning. That's more of gives you a pretty wide highway to think about what markets could do. So next year, double digits is more than a 50% probability, even though we were up 25% this year. But then we look at E, the earnings, and we think, can you grow 10%, which I think is easy base case because there's pent-up demand for CapEx, and we know the PMIs are going to turn. And the guidance actually has been pretty decent. And then it's what multiple do you apply? This is where I think people make mistakes. When the 10-year is at between 3 and 4%, 65% of the time the PE is over 18 times. 50% of the time it's over 20. That's since 1900. Well, the S&P equal weight is 15 times forward, or ex-FANG, it's 15 times forward. Well, if that 15 goes to 18 or 15 goes to 20, the stock market's going to be up 30%. So we figure, well, you hold the multiple, earnings grow 10, you get 5,200, but that means there's upside to that number.
You guys see the shade they threw at him? You've been directionally correct. It was kind of condescending. The man has been right. Tom Lee has been right. He's a perma bull. That doesn't mean he's going to be right all of the time. But as you could see, he was looking at the multiples, the PE of the overall market, and he was using it comparisons to how far we could continue to go up. All right. And he also goes on to talk about where he thinks the market will fall, but he also talks about small cap stock. Now, when it comes to small cap stock, what he says, the growth potential for small cap stock is actually amazing. All right, let's go to that.
What's a dollar of future earnings worth? That's the multiple.
Well, remember, investors can buy any stock. So if they buy the S&P, if they buy the index, then they're buying the FANG 40% weight at 30 times. But if someone's buying, like you said, JP Morgan at 11 times, or, they're buying 20 stocks in the S&P and they're paying 13 or 14 or 15 times, actually the 10-year tells you that could be 20 times.
But we're not. We're buying the S&P. You have a 5,200. That's what I'm trying to, you want to X out. You seem to want to move out things and X things out.
Well, actually, the best way to do that is should the FANG multiple come down next year, right? So you do a sum of the parts. And why should the FANG's multiple decrease when they're going to grow earnings 25%? I mean, in a way, you'd actually argue the market has more upside if FANG holds its multiple because of the earnings growth they're going to have. So I think people trick themselves into think the market's expensive, but it's the same as someone saying, "Oh, because the S&P is expensive, Japan's expensive." It's not. You're buying equities, but you really want to think about each component you're paying for.
I want to talk about your small cap call because that's a big one. 50% next year. We've certainly, if that happens, have had a preview in the last few weeks about the comeback in small cap. But why do you think there's so much room left to run here?
Well, I think people need to put a long-term lens on small caps. On a price-to-book basis for Russell, which is the highest correlation to forward returns, relative to S&P, it's at the 1999 lows. You've never seen them cheaper. 1999 was...
That's always the case for small caps, is that they're cheap.
It's the first time they've touched these levels in almost 40 years. But in 1999, that was the launch point for 12 years of gains. And if you look at the earners of the small caps, which is like the S&P 600, they're at 11 times forward earnings. So can the multiple expand in small caps if we have weaker dollar, PMIs turn up? Yeah, I'd say easily. Can the earnings go up a lot? Yes. And, small caps this year proved it. We turned bullish on small caps around November, and people thought maybe it's just to base it up 5. It's up 25%. I think small caps could easily add 50 percentage points next year.
So as you can see, Tom Lee is still very bullish. He still remains very bullish on the overall market. He talks about a potential dip next year. And I'll find that where he talks about where he sees a dip because that's important. But while we were talking, this just came in. Europe stock in 2023 up 12.64%, right? After climbing the last trading day. Okay, so the European market is doing well. Let's look at something what Mr. Tom Lee, not Mr. Tom Lee, but let's look at where we're at right now. And I'll point out something that Mr. Tom Lee was talking about. At the time of filming this, the Dow is down 118 points. You can see all the major indices, right? But he was talking about small caps, which is the Russell 2000. So if we add the Russell 2000 there we go. If we add it there, boom. As we could see, since we've been surging in the last month, the Russell 2000 has gained the most since we've really been surging here during the Santa Claus rally and leading into it. As you can see, the Russell 2000 was lagging the entire year. So if you go year to date, you could see that the Russell 2000 was in fact lagging, see, right behind the S&P, right? But the last 6 months is really when it's been lagging. So it's kind of been in lockstep with the S&P. But in the last month, you could see that it's been surging. To Tom Lee's point that the small cap stock can actually surge next year. So I want you guys that don't know what small cap stocks are, I want you guys to check them out. All right. Hey, I got to give a shout out to Mr. Michael Surkutz. I've been asking for a Santa Claus on a bull, and he sent this from Maui. Love from Maui. Hey, I'm going to get down there to see you guys. That is the coolest looking Santa on a bull, right? And then we had this one from Mr. Gilberto Barrera. Gilberto Barrera. So appreciate you guys for that, all right? So let's just keep it moving here. Now let's hear what Tom Lee thinks, or where he thinks a pullback could occur.
Right. And I know you expect a little turbulence in February, right, March?
Yeah, yes, I'd say if history was sort of your guide, January, February, S&P gets to 5,000. I mean, I think new highs is just a matter of days. But then late Feb, March, April is when you get the 5-10% drawdown.
And then up from there.
Yeah, and then up from, but that's the big growth scare, and so everyone will panic, and that's probably the time to be buying again. So. Well,
no doubt we will be speaking to you many more times.
So this video is very important because some people are just in sectors, and they're just concentrating on their own sector, whether it be the crypto mining companies, which I will briefly cover after this. This is the year end, and you need to know what's going on with everything, because everything affects everything. The stock market is affecting crypto. Don't get it twisted. So Tom Lee says that he believes that in February, I'm going to take my time with this one, so it's going to be longer. He believes in February that it could be a cool off February into March. Well, that falls in line with what I believe. I believe that it will be a cool off in Q1, I've been saying. It could happen. It could start in January. The question is, will you be buying or will you be selling, or have you already sold? Okay, so look at this, good people. And I have to look at this, right? Here's the question. Back here, so this is a 5-year chart. This is the Dow, right? So I'm going to ask, be truthful. When the stock market fell here because of COVID, did you buy or did you panic sell, right? Or did you say, I'm going to wait? You didn't do any. I'm just going to wait. Or were you not in the stock market and you were thinking, this may be a good time? Please leave me a comment on that, okay? Because I believe, I kind of line up with Tom Lee. I believe there will be a cool back and a pull down. And if and when that pull down does happen, that is when I will be buying more. I have a lot of dry powder on the sidelines ready to put into this market. Let's move to crypto, right? Let's move to the crypto mining, just stocks. Now, in crypto, everything is down right now. I'll pull up a crypto bubble, but you'll probably see a lot of red. I see a lot of red going on today, and that's cool. It's to be expected. Crypto is doing what crypto is supposed to be doing. But let's look at the crypto miners, right? We could see that they are tanking today. After running, they are tanking. I just have a few up. This only allows me to put in 5 at a time. But as you could see, Marathon is down 15%. CleanSpark 17, Riot 12, Bit Digital 17, right? Oh my God, Larry, what's happening? What's happening is supposed to happen. That's why in the last 3 videos, I've been saying, take profit, take profit, take profit, right? For those of you that got in late, for those of you that got in early, some of us in some of these plays are up 300%. So 15 to 17% is nothing. It's not one size fit all, right? So now, for those of you that are up 200 and 300%, did it trigger your stop losses? For those of you that were up like 10%, remember I explained that on a video, then you should have your stop losses set tight because you are buying at the top. The best thing and smartest thing to do when you're buying at the top is dollar cost average in, right? And not just go all in. I've been cautioning, don't go all in, dollar cost average. Myself, personally, my buy the rumor, sell the news portfolio, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to sell everything before January 10th, right? But in my dollar cost average, if it continues to do this, then I'm going to increase the amount that I am dollar cost averaging. And yes, that could be a long road, but not at 15 and 17% a day. It's not going to be that long, leading into the halving, right? And then what happens after the halving? It takes off, right? So here's what you can think about. If you are in a loss and you have gains somewhere else, you could use some of this for tax loss harvesting. I want you to Google what that is, okay? So now, what I believe will happen is exactly what's happening, right? So now I can probably let's put in Cypher. I can guarantee you that the warrants are tanking more than, what's that, FR? The warrants are tanking more than the stock. Yep. Here we go. Look at this. This is Cypher, and this is the warrants. Cypher's down by 15%, but Cypher warrants are down by 18%. Remember, the slingshot. Whatever the stock does, the warrant does behind, but it's flinging faster, right? And everything I've said has proven to be factual, okay? And yes, I'm going to continue to add more to the warrants chapter. I have the most important lesson up in the class right now, and that's how to make money. And you guys that's been taking the class has been making money, but we're going to add crypto to that also too, all right? So we have the other crypto mining companies. I'm not going to pull that up. You know what? Let's look at crypto, the crypto bubble right quick. This was just like I thought, a lot of red. You're going to just see tons of red because remember, let's just say crypto is like the NASDAQ, and let's say Bitcoin is the NASDAQ, okay? And we could see that everything, you see a lot of red for the day, for the hour, you see a lot of red, for the day, you see a lot of red, just about in everything. You have a few that are not, but for the hour and the day, that's all you see is red. But why are we panicking? Because for those of us that's been investing for the month and the year, what do we see other than Tether, which I don't have? What do we see? Tons of green, right? And that's what the stock market is about. Now, let me give you my closing remarks concerning the overall market and crypto. I line up with Tom Lee, not because he called it right, because you guys know I've been saying this same thing before this video. I expect that there'll be a pullback, right? He's expecting, based on history, February into March. I'm saying it could come as early as January. But I do believe that in Q1 of 2024, we will have a cool down. A lot of people will panic. A lot of people will say, this is the recession. Oh, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And me personally, remember, anything I say is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. I personally will be looking for buying opportunities for my long-term plays. Now, as it pertains to the crypto miners, I am going to do exactly what I said I was going to do. I am going to, the more they fall, the more I'm going to increase my dollar cost averaging. The more they rise, I'm going to decrease my dollar cost average. And I'm going to do that for most of 2024 because these will be at their absolute highest. I believe anything could change. I believe that they'll be at their absolute highest, of course, near the blow off top, but I will be selling before then, right? We're going to have some massive run-ups, but leading up to the halving, all of these crypto miners, usually there's a slow bleed, right? And remember, these are the crypto miners, and we have to look at these. They are linked to crypto and not necessarily all the way linked to the stock market. So the stock market could be green and these could be red, right? So just keep those two separate. You have to know what's going on with Bitcoin if you're going to be in the Bitcoin miners, all right? Hopefully this has helped you. Let me know what you think about next year, all right? And just in closing, remember, this is the last trading day, all right? Make sure you use the coupon code and get $100 off or get 2023 pricing, okay? We're going to keep that. That will be the top link listen, during this winter, I want you guys to study. Study. I used to say, hey, just get the free stuff, get the free stuff, get the free stuff, get the free stuff. But since we have, with Bitcoin, we have the potential approval or denial of the spot ETF. That's going to happen January 10th, right? And then on the in April, we're supposed to have the halving. Then you need to study, and you need to study as much as you can. So I was saying, hey, buy the free stuff if you can't afford the class. Now I'm saying, quit playing, invest in yourself. Don't be cheap. I discounted it for you guys. Buy it, period. And because you will learn how to earn just like thousands of others before you, okay? So let me know what you think about this market. I believe that 2024 is going to end higher than it begins. I believe that 2024 will be overall a decent year, but I believe the next bull run, will be strongly in 2025. Come a recession or not, I believe 2025 will be the bull run. So when do you want to buy? In the bull run or when things are beat down? And so now, here's another thing. I'm not going to dump all in if we have one leg down, let's say in February or March. I'm not going to go all in. I'm going to do some buying, some heavy buying, but I'm not going all in just in case there's multiple legs down, okay? And so that's what I want you guys to know. Listen, good people, over this New Year's, I want you to study. Just study the things you don't know because it's your money. It's your hard-earned money. But when the bull market comes, just like anything else, people are asking me, is it too late for crypto now, Larry? Is it too late for the crypto miners? I was like, why weren't you buying it when we were buying? Now you're buying at the top. But I'm going to say this with these crypto miners. They have fooled us for weeks now. They have been overbought and they continue to run. Okay, let's make sure those stop losses are set. I've helped you guys make a lot of gains, but I'm telling you, I want to help you to protect your gains. All right. Let me know what you think, good people. I know this one is long, but it's important. This is the last trading day of the year. Monday, the market will be closed, right? I love you guys. We're going to continue to kill it in 2024. Man, I'm happy. Even with this red, I'm happy because all of my crypto mining companies are still green, all right? But we just got a red day. Big deal. This is the stock market, all right? I love and appreciate every one of you guys over this New Year holiday. Please continue to share my page. Don't just make money for yourself. Make it for your friends by sharing this page because you don't want them asking you for money. You want to help them make their own money, all right? Love you guys. We'll see you. Live, love, laugh, and learn.